What's good, people? This is the Rap Roundtable. Your boy Jaw here, Sincere the Rap Snob, Dini the Balance, the homie Mace. We just want to make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, help us get our numbers up. We're trying to get 2,000 subs, 5,000. Y'all know how this go. If y'all think we're good and y'all love the content, some of y'all always say, yo, how come y'all don't have more views? It's because y'all don't sub. So make sure y'all do that and tap in with us. Peace.
The Rap Roundtable.
Yes, sir. As promised, the Rap Roundtable is back to give you our reaction to Joey Badass's latest album, 2000. He gave you 1999 some years ago. Now it's 2000. Eagerly anticipated in some hip-hop circles.
Right.
A lot of curiosity in other hip-hop circles. I fall somewhere in the latter with the curiosity more so than the anticipation. But we here now, the album is out, and you know what we do when albums are out. We give you our reactions. We give you all the best reactions in the game. On top of that, nuance. Even if you get mad, you can't say we bullshitting a dick riding over here. It's your boy Jaw here for a long, good time, not a long time, alongside Sincere the Rap Snob, alongside Deep Bounce, alongside the homie Mace, on location as always. And Sincere the Rap Snob, we're going to come to you first.
Bet.
Joey Badass, 2000. Your thoughts?
Yes. My thoughts. I'm very happy with this album, man. Especially the anticipation that I had for it. Once the song started rolling out, you know what I mean. I was super happy with the singles. So it gave me confidence that he was gonna drop a dope project. I was on our last episode 50. Go check that out, y'all, if you haven't seen it. We talked about like artists that we thought needed to drop a fire album ASAP, and the person that I picked was Joey Badass. Simply because he's been gone for a while, and the last project that he dropped, I don't think it really hit the mark the way it was supposed to. You know what I mean? So dropping 2000 today, super happy with it. I spun it this morning. I spun it a couple times. And job to what you usually say, where it's like it's musically rich. You know what I mean? It's boom bap. It's a little bit, going back to his roots and the music that he made coming up early on 10 years ago with 1999. So it's sort of going back to that formula, but elevated. You know what I mean? It's musically rich. There's layers to the beats. It's not just like a sample with, some hard drums or some boom bap drums on it. There's layers to it. There's musical layers to it. Shout out to Static Selector, who, as a producer, I think at times can, his beats will be good, but not entirely like exciting or dynamic. I think that on this project, he showed out. And he gave Joey Badass his absolute A1 best beats. And I don't want to overstate it, but I think Joey Badass and Static Selector might have a nice little chemistry going on here, the same way that Nas and Hit Boy do. You know what I mean? He might have found somebody that really brings the best out of him. Some other things I liked about the project, some people might feel weird about it or have some negative feelings about it. I like Diddy being on the intro as a tone setter. You know what I mean? I like definitely on the intro when Joey said, "Who's the best out?" He said Kenny, Joey, and Cole. Clearly left Drake out of the conversation. That was very interesting.
That's a conversation we're gonna have to have on a Rap Roundtable at a certain point.
So he's like I said in the last episode too. A lot of people had put Joey in that Kenny and Cole conversation early on, but then he kind of disappeared. You know what I mean? So now I feel like with this project, he's trying to come back and reclaim his spot. Not just with the fans, but with his, against his peers. I heard some Biggie lines and flows being borrowed here. He borrowed the pun ad-lib. So he had Nas on the interlude. So he's clearly
the whole boss too.
The whole boss too. So he's clearly like, putting himself on a certain level, a certain pedestal. He's trying to like, create comparisons without necessarily, overt saying these things.
Right.
He's making those comparisons felt. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If I had one gripe, if y'all know me, y'all know that I listened for, mixing decisions and levels. There were a few songs where I felt like I was trying, like the song was so dope, I was trying to crank it. And I was like, yo, why is this shit not going higher? And like some of the songs, especially early on, like they were mixed low. And so I was feeling the song so much. I was like, yo, I want to hear this shit loud. I want to ruin my eardrums right now listening to this song. And I couldn't do it. I don't know why certain songs were mixed so low. Maybe they were overly compressed. I don't know what it was. But there was some mixing decisions that I would have, made differently. Okay. The song with Larry June, the mixing was a little uneven. Some parts were too loud. But overall, it's a dope project. I'm super happy with it. And yeah.
Deanie, jump in, bro. You seem like you were intrigued by this album as well.
I was. You insulted me at the time when we talked about it was coming out.
You trying to put him number one on the power rankings.
Not number one. I think I've not.
Took that straight too, D. I know what it's like.
2 or 3. It was definitely.
Y'all wanted him number one.
I think we wanted 2 or 3.
No,
we wanted.
No, don't lie now. Y'all wanted number one.
Okay.
We was calling for number one.
The 3 records
Yo, you see how over the years how Diddy be accusing me of shit and it be him? You see, case in point, another example of Diddy accusing me of shit.
You're my guy. So I'm gonna give you my rundown. So at 12:30 a.m., I went outside, lit me a good spliff. The temperature cooled down.
Right.
And I listened to this. I listened to this with some deep thought, man. And I think the album's really good. To Sin's point, bro, there was moments though where the mix and mastering actually just outright sucked. It sounded like there was like DJ bumped the table skips on this shit. Like I thought that was wild, and it was on Wild Records, bro. It's on like 5 records where it's like a skip where somebody just missed it. Like didn't get the final listening. Like, yo, you heard all them fucked ups in it? But I won't hold on to that. I will get into the good things I like about the album. The introspection was pretty flawless. He showed a lot of growth, man. He's been around the world. He's seen a lot of things, dealing with a lot of emotions, primarily based around the passing of his best friend, Capital Steez. Like I said, the shit was, I felt like I was in a movie. The cameos from Puff, Nas, 2 New York legends, hip hop icons. The Baddest, Make Me Feel, and Where I Belong is a beautiful start to the album. Yeah. I hate to say it, Mo, but it lost me a little bit at Brand New 911.
You wildin', but I'm gonna let you keep going.
I wanted an event, man. This is 2022 West Side Gun, fresh off of Peace God. You know what I'm saying? Peace Fly God. I wanted something to stick to the ribs. I didn't get that from this record. And followed that up with Cruise Control and Eulogy. Kind of pulled me away from where I wanted to be. But when Zip Codes kicked in, I was pulled back in. And that was followed up by the Larry June joint and the shit he got with Breezy, which I think might be Joey's like official like solid club record. This shit knocks. Like I was listening to this record like Joey got one. Joey fucking got one. Show Me How, Wanna Be Loved with JID. I thought those were great records. Heads High, that might be a lifetime replay value for me. I love that record. It might be my favorite record off the project. Survivor's Guilt, dope record. Shout out to Ab Soul. I thought Ab Soul would be perfect to do the narration on the end of that record because he just lost his best friend earlier this year, Doughburger. Shout out RIP Doughburger, RIP Capital Steez. And Written in the Stars was a great way to end the album, bro. I really, really like the album. I think it's really fire.
The live instrumentation at the end,
fire.
Nice touch.
It's just that 3-pack that to me just pulled me away a little bit. I felt like when Joey got in the booth with this, he was like, you know what? I haven't given these people some music in a long time. This wasn't a money grab. This wasn't a
at all.
This wasn't let me just make these people feel. It was really just, I got some good music. I got a little time in between my acting time. You know what I'm saying? Right. Let me give these people some fire. I thought the album was great, man, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right, Mace, jump in, bro.
Copy that. Well, y'all could put me in the anticipation group of when it came to this album. And just like Sin mentioned, All American Badass was a dud. That was a horrible album. As you can see, it made him stop rapping for 5 years. So people were waiting on this. I was waiting on this, and I gotta say, Joey delivered. He really did. This is his best project to date to me. My guys mentioned a lot of things. Another thing, he seems to be more in pocket than ever. Joey's always been nice. but it seemed like he's sharp with the pen right now. Like I really appreciated that. The album is a good length. You know, I've been liking these 12-track albums, these 14-track albums that everybody been doing. Pusha could have, you know, gave us a little more songs, but I won't complain. But I perfect album length. Song variety was good. You know, subject matter, topics, production. Yeah. You know, he but not egregious in the way that every rapper tried to do Once Upon a Time After Life After Death came out. Like, even though it's something for everybody on this album, he's not pandering for all types of facts. You know what I mean? So I appreciated that. The features are limited, which is always a good thing. I don't like to see a bunch of names next to songs when I start playing the album. Yeah. But I always say about this is that it's never about the quality of the actual feature artist, but the quality of work they give you that shows the respect that an artist commands. And I say everybody on this album gave Joey a good feature. You know what I mean? June, Westside, JID, one of the more underrated. We're gonna have to start talking about him more. But yeah, so this is an album that I really appreciated. If I have any issues with the album, not many. You know, it's early, but my only issues were that 3 of my favorite 5 songs were the singles, Where I Belong, Zip Codes, and Head High. You know, and I never, when I'm judging myself, other than Dark Twisted Fantasy, I can't ever remember a classic album having that type of thing going on. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if I could critique anything, that's it. You know, and even though Dean mentioned Head High, to me, I don't know if there's any timeless songs on here. You know, it's almost dry. Tanner Talk 4, even Mr. Morale, which I flip-flopped on and probably will for the rest of the year, have tracks that you'll play for the next 5-10 years. And on the first few listens, I don't know if I feel that way about any specific song on this album. So, but I will say that's just a small thing I gotta say. Joey, continuing the trend of non-Drake rappers delivering this year on the projects they released. Everybody's pretty much, you know, they've amped up their game this year. And Joey, you know, when it comes to this album of the year conversation, I say every album's album of the year every time it comes out, and I like it. I've said like 10 albums are the album of the year this year. But it's going to be in that conversation. Obviously, we want to see how it ages. We want to see what else comes out. Right. But it's going to be in that conversation for me, for sure. For sure.
I guess I'm not going to pretend. We had Rim a few episodes ago come on, and he said something about Boom That. When I looked at Joey Badass, as much as he was about the aesthetic, about the 90s culture with his sound and his aesthetics, he was very much Boom That for me. Like, he was not somebody that I was going to go, oh, he's dropping on, I can't wait to listen. No, in fact, I might not listen at all. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until, I believe it was Cinemace. I don't remember It was you who dropped the first single in the chat?
I think so. Yeah.
When you dropped that single in the chat, I was blown away because I expected to not like it. And I'm like, oh shit, this, whoa. The beats, the pocket work, to Mace's point. Yeah. Like, this guy is good. Like, he's not even just a dude who's also ran. He's really good at rapping, and he made a really good, highly musical song. So I'm like, all right, boom. Then you dropped another track in the chat. I'm like, oh shit, he did it again? All right, maybe I need to hear this album now. So before I even continue on, you mentioned Drake just now, Mace. What Joey Badass has done with this album has made it even easier for me to continue to disqualify Drake from rap conversations, because there's so much artists who are delivering high-level rap albums, even if they're not timeless, even if they're not classics. You want to argue about the track list, the pacing, the subject matter. The fact remains is there is high-level rap coming out all year long in hip-hop. And as much as they got mad at us on the power rankings, the fact remains is right now the Spitters are winning. I'm sorry. Again, the Spitters won with 2000. You know what I'm saying? The thing that I love about this album the most is not even the song. It's the overall, any particular song, but it's the overall vibe. Essentially, he invited everyone to a listening party with an open mic for you to come on, talk nice about Joey Badass, introduce some songs, lay the foundation for what you are just about to listen to. There was no pointless skit on this album. Everybody who spoke, it was a lead into the next song or a lead into the next stanza of the album. And I thought that was amazing because God knows in the era of streaming, we don't get cohesive bodies of work anymore. We get a couple of fire songs, and then we get the stream. Like even Pusha did it. You chase some streams with a couple of random features who we know don't belong there. No disrespect, but you know that song on the Pusha album I'm talking about. So it was the Verd and who was Brent Fires? It was that guy. Yeah. Since when? I like the song.
Be real.
I like the song, but since when? This song was cold. This album was cohesive. We wasn't chasing streams. Everything fit where it belonged. We even had the little voice message right before we got into the breezy song. But I gotta say, that Capella Gray guy, if I never hear him again, it's okay. I didn't like his hit single. I didn't like his vocals on this song. If there's a gripe about this album, it's the fact that he's on the album. Now I know he put on for Brooklyn. He put on for the culture. Flatbushians, I understand. Gallus Ting, I get it. But no, it should have just been him and Breezy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But beyond that, I love this album. Yeah. To me, I love the joint with West Side Gun. Why? Because instead of inviting West Side onto your album to do what West Side Gun does, he invited West Side Gun to 2000 to do what Joey Badass does. And to me, West Side Gun surprisingly gave you a really good verse, and it wasn't so much about the ad-libs as much as it was about the bars. I was like, all right, West Side, because I slept when I heard the beat. I'm like, West Side on this? Okay. Yeah. But then West Side on this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To me, like, anytime you can get Diddy to do anything on your album, I don't give a fuck what the internet says. It's Puff Daddy. His voice matters. And if Puff is willing to do it, even if it's for a bag, Puff don't need the money. You know what I'm saying? Right. So if he's doing it because he rock with you. He looks at you as someone who's a beacon of the culture. He's not going down south talking on Lil Baby albums. No disrespect to Lil Baby. He's one of the biggest in the game. But the fact remains is Puff is not looking at you as someone who's carrying the culture a certain kind of way.
Right.
He's doing it on Spitter's albums. I love this project. Right. I love Show Me. I love Heads High. Survivor's
Show
Guilt.
Me is fire.
Survivor's Guilt is something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo.
Very real.
You don't get this kind of subject matter. Now, if there's a gripe with the Kendrick thing, because I'm trying to make it all encompassing, he gave us the same kind of real rap, the real talk that we like without getting a little too cringy. This is what we wanted from Kendrick, sincere. Exactly. That's what we wanted.
Fact.
Right. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
We're not doing
that. We're not doing that.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to give people an example because sometimes our points get lost in banter because we're friends and we start joking around and they forget that we're friends and we're joking around. But what I mean is like, we wanted to get the real talk without the cringy stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think I appreciated that aspect of it, as long as with the digestibility of it the most out of all. Because he didn't sell out on the content. He gave you content-rich shit, great beats.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
You'll have to explain what the cringy stuff is.
I won't. I'm not doing that.
That'll be for another.
We've done it enough times.
Conversation. That'll be for another conversation.
You know what I'm saying? But I really like this album. Am I a Joey Badass fan now? No. But do I respect him as an artist and do I respect him putting himself next to the heavyweights? Yes. Who's gonna tell him he's not? Y'all? No. he proved it. He dropped the album that deserves being contention worthy.
If I could add an exclamation point to something you mentioned, Jarv, and we've talked about this also in the past. Like sometimes there could be like a very thin line between cohesion, being cohesive, and being repetitive.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And towing that line is very, very difficult. And the way that Joey Badass just made this cohesive 14 joint project, even with the likes of, you got Chris Brown and West Side Gun on the album, right? And not to say that Welcome Back is one of my favorite joints on the album, but I dug it. I fucks with it. You know what I mean? And to have songs like Welcome Back fit in the album, fit in the flow of the album, and still sound cohesive without sounding out of place with the rest of the album. It's a testament to what Joey Badass's talent. His level of confidence shines through on this album, not just with the words and what he says, but the way he constructed this album, the features that he chose to put on this album, the way he sequenced the album. the sounds that he went for on this album. It's like you feel the confidence shining through. You know what I mean? And it's not empty confidence. It's not, yo, I think I'm the best just because I say so. Like, he really showed improved on this show.
Absolutely.
Y'all said it right with the no filler. Like even the 3 songs that I mentioned, he was barring the fuck out of those songs. It just is a very different vibe from the initial tone of the album, and it switches so fast and it just catches you off guard. But like I said, it picks up right after that. Also, like what Sin said, shout out to Static Select. We might have to get Static Select on the round table, bro. We got some good connects. Passport Rav and the young fellas are really tight with him. Might have to make some calls and make something happen, because his contribution on the album was like amazing. I thought he did. There was some joints I was like, what is he gonna do with this? When the sample cut in and it just flipped, and I was like, wow, man, it's a really great body of work, man.
And honestly, I'm not a weed smoker, but this sure seemed like a good album for smokers. Like it's a good zen about this album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Very relaxing vibe.
Yeah.
Mace on the job. See, we tell y'all we not
real
playing.
quick.
Y'all call me on the Summer Jam screen?
Mace on mute.
Real quick, shout out to my boy Josh Kamen Law, who had a hand in making zip codes happen, because he represents Kirk Knight, who produced that record. Which is absolutely one of my favorite records.
Don't give away too many secrets. They're gonna call us industry plants next.
Yo, that's a fact.
Get Josh up on the table.
He found out our secret.
That's a fact. I didn't really talk about my faves too much. I loved all of the singles that he put out ahead of time. But besides those, Make Me Feel Crazy. I love Brand New. I don't know what the fuck Adini talking about right now.
That's me. Just me.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Eulogy is fire to me too. So
Eulogy went crazy. Yeah.
Great lyricism.
Yeah, man.
Shout out Larry June too. Delivered a fire verse.
Yeah.
Right. We've mentioned him in passing a couple times when he dropped his last album, and I know Sin has definitely brought him up a couple times. But Larry June, for sure.
Definitely one of the new vibe gods, man.
Yeah.
West Coast, we fuck with y'all too.
They
fuck with y'all West
you know
Coast.
What I mean? Yeah, but we New York biased though. You know what I mean? Look,
yeah.
Hey.
Come on.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
I
mess with the West Coast, but I ain't gonna say what I really want to say. I'm gonna be good today. Yeah, I mean, but yo, let's get out of here, fellas. Appreciate this album. We're definitely gonna rate it on a future episode once we sit down with it a little bit more. But as always, this is the reaction. Episode 50 is out right now. We have the Power Rankings is out right now. If you still haven't seen it, New York Bias 2 is out right now. The Flex versus Conway issues is out right now. And episode 51 is on the way with a very, very special guest. So make sure you tap in, and we'll see y'all real soon. Peace.
All right, gang. Later.